we met, what'd you think I was gonna be?
The biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City.
Never thought about more. It's about Tariq and Canaan.
Well, we wouldn't be talking about Canaan if you killed him 10 years ago, like I told you to.
I'm doing this for us. It's our escape plan.
Escape from what?
I don't know any old, wrinkled drug dealers. They're either dead or inside, Tasha.
Really his fault either. I had stopped believing in his dreams.
Biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. That's who the
What's up, ugly ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking, but most importantly, make sure you share it with your bad friends. On today's video, we will be covering Power Reloaded. And this one right here is titled, What If Angie Never Came Into the Club and Tasha Believed in Ghost Dream? That is right, my good and glad friends. I am back with another Power Reloaded video. So if you haven't seen my very first one, pretty much what I do in this one is I take a term of events, you know what I'm saying? Take some events from Power that had already happened and like kind of change it up and say, what if this happened? How the outcome would have been if this particular event was like this. You know what I'm saying? And in this particular one, we will be covering what if Angie never showed up at the club? You know what I'm saying? How would the St. Patrick family have turned out if she never went into Club Truth that night? And also, how would their life have turned out if Tasha would have just simply believed in Ghost's dream instead of trying to convince him to continue to be a drug dealer? So we're going to be covering all of that and more. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video. Now, we're going to start things off from the beginning. When the stuff really started, you know, to go sour, at least as far as what us, the viewers, know. Because according to Ghost, if you can remember, when he was speaking to Angie one episode, we can't remember exactly what episode this was, but basically Angie was feeling guilty about, you know, wrecking his family, you know, with his relationship with Tasha and, you know, how it was going to damage his kids. But Ghost replied to her, you know, things were going bad between them already. You know, this just kind of, you know, basically enhanced it. Now, I'm paraphrasing when I say this, but it was something in that, you know, nature. But this is the thing. If you can remember, if you're a hardcore Power fan, then you know exactly by the image what took place here. This is when Ghost spoke with Tasha and said, when we met, what did you think I was going to be? And Tasha replied, the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. And you could see the disappointment in Ghost's face right after she made that statement. And but he went ahead and tried to, you know, speak with her further and said, you never thought about more. And she shut that. He made it even worse and said, what more? You mean the club? That's less. You know what I'm saying? So she pretty much was shooting down without really knowing it, what he had planned in his dream. He was like, bruh, like, I understand that it's less, but if we work hard at it, we can make it more and be on the legit side. But you know, Tasha didn't see it that way, right? But let's go ahead and continue. Next, as we know, later on in that very first episode, he ended up laying eyes on none other than Angela Valdez. I'm pretty sure most of us, if you're on this channel viewing, you know who Angela Valdez is, but very briefly, I'll explain it. obviously she's his love of his life, his childhood sweetheart that he had back in the day. And she left to go to school, and he never saw her again until now. Right? But what this particular video is going to be covering is, what if she never stepped foot in this club? And Ghost never had the opportunity to, to meet her and then get her number, and then, they proceed a little further. How would their life have turned out? Now, I could see a couple of different ways, but we're going to do a little experimenting on a couple of things that could have happened if she didn't come, and things that could have happened to prevent the outcome that we did end up getting if different moves were made on the chessboard. Now, one of the things I think could have been done is Tasha could have moved much differently, but she chose not to do so. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my answer of how I see. I think if Angie never walked into that club and she never came back into Ghost's life, me personally, and y'all can definitely let me know what y'all think up in the comments, but me personally, I think Ghost would have eventually restored his family, and eventually Tasha would have came on board. That's what I think would have happened. I would like to think that's what would have happened. Now, granted, like I said earlier, he did say they were already, kind of going downhill, but I think only Angela was big enough for him to go ahead and say, you know what, Tasha, I'm done with you. And that's because that was the love of his life. They already knew each other, She supported his dream. Everything that he wanted to become and everything that he, wanted, the future that he had seen for himself, she supported it. So I think she just was special to him. The reason why she was ultimately able to get him to leave Tasha. But if it was anyone else, I think he just would have looked at her as any other broad, and he would have stayed with his family. That's just my opinion, but y'all definitely can let me know what y'all think. But let's just go ahead and dig a little bit further. Now, you remember here, this is right after Tasha, seeing Ghost speaking with Angela, right? She looked at it from a distance and got upset and ended up leaving the club, which I think, in my opinion, was very foolish of her. What she should have done is walked in front of them while they were talking and said, "Baby, who is this?" That's what she should have said. And then he would have had to explain himself, and he'd been like, this is Angela. I recognize her from, first time seeing her since high school, just an old friend. Even if, it was more to it than that, it would have changed the dynamic, because now Angela would have seen right off the bat, before Ghost got to have those little lunch dates with her and reminisce of the good times, and before he got to buy her that nice necklace, and they had their first kiss since 18 years and stuff like that. If she would have stood in front of it and let Angela know where she stand and showed that big old ring on her finger from the get-go, I think it never would have got to that point. Because you can tell Angela kind of didn't want to break it up. Like she mentioned it. She didn't want to break up the family. And I think if she would have intervened right there, it wouldn't have gotten that far. I don't know. It's possible. She definitely would have stood a much better chance than to just brush it off and get mad and go upset and play footsie with Sean in the back seat and shit. So that's on her. That's another thing that could have prevented, that from, happening. Now let's go ahead and go a little bit further now. Recognize this scene. This scene here, and I got all the clips of these things, little small clips of it at the beginning of the video, so y'all can kind of get a little bit of, of a refresh of some of the things that happened. But This here is Ghost's second attempt to speak with Tasha and let her know that, he wants out of the game. Right? And of course, we know how it ended up playing out, but when he was pleading with her, saying, look, he don't know any old wrinkled drug dealers, they're either dead or inside. If she could have just said, you know what, this is dangerous, regardless of how good I think you are at this game, it's still risky, which it was. Like, you should have been thinking about the safety of your husband and, most importantly, your kids. They're not off limits just because they're kids. People on the streets are savages, and they'll do anything to get to you to get to the next level. So she should have been thinking that as a mother, but she wasn't doing that because she was so fixated on the money and the fame. Well, not necessarily fame, but the money that they were enjoying and the lifestyle that she was overlooking that. So Ghost did try twice before he ultimately made his decision to do this. And of course, this is their first lunch date before, well, actually he had this little lunch date before he talked to her that second time. But this was more on the casual side. Now, do I think he kind of was still having those thoughts and stuff even then? Absolutely. But I think her making the decision and saying what she said further pushed it to make him say, yeah, I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to say this. If she would have if Tasha would have just went ahead and went on with his plan, with the dream, and helped him build up those clubs, I think Angela possibly never would have gotten to that picture. And think about this. All the things that would have happened if Tasha would have just stood by her husband and what he wanted. This would have never happened. Tariq going down the bad path, wanting to be a gangster, trying to be a drug dealer, thinking he can kill cops and get away with it and all kinds of glad shit he's doing. All of that never would have happened, because think about it. The reason why Tariq went down the bad path that he went down is because Ghost left the family for Angela. We know this because that was the final thing he told Ghost before he ultimately shot him on the last episode. So, if Angela never came to the picture, I think Tariq would have still been a good kid, and he never would have went down the dark path of trying to hit licks and stuff with Kanan and all these type of crazy things that he was into. And most importantly, we never would have gotten to this. Your girl Raina never would have been taken out, because as we know, Raina was only taken out because she was trying to protect her brother Tariq. She approached an ugly ass nigga named Ray Ray and was like, look, I know who you are, ugly ass nigga. My dad gonna serve your little ugly ass if you keep on doing this. And Ray Ray ultimately decided, alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and serve your little big forehead ass then before you get to tell your daddy. And I think, of course, Raina didn't know that she was in that kind of danger, and she had to pay the price for it. But once again, no Angela, no dead Raina. No Angela, no bad Tariq, no bad Tariq, no dead Raina. And also, if Tasha would have just supported his dream, even if Angela came to the picture, I think it could have worked. You know what I'm saying? Because Ghost definitely did care about Tasha a lot. And there was a lot of pivotal moments where, Ghost kind of, was trying to revisit or rekindle the relationship that they had, possibly, but it just, I think Tasha was like, nah, I can't do that with your little lad no more. But she just didn't trust it. Now, I'm not going to blame her for that because Ghost gave her reasons not to. But I'm just saying, ladies, if she would have supported the dream, we never would have dealt with the death of Raina St. Patrick. And I think, more than likely, we would have had nothing but a happy family. Now, of course, this right here was fake because it was a set-up interview for Ghost after he, was released from prison and trying to prove his innocence. But still, y'all get the picture. We would have had a big, happy family. And I think eventually he could have gotten out the game. He probably ultimately would have had to maybe not necessarily lose his relationship with Tommy, but the relationship probably wouldn't have been the same because he would have been out of the game and Tommy would have had to figure something out. But who knows? Maybe after they got out for a while, Tommy would eventually decided, okay, maybe I don't need to be doing it. But I doubt it because Tommy is married to the game. But I'm just saying, lots of different things would have happened if just those two events would have taken place. Angela not came into the club and Tasha supported Ghost's dream. Anyways, yeah, I'm just saying, definitely looking forward to see what y'all got up in these comments. What do y'all see the outcome have been if those two things had taken place? Do you see Ghost, working it out with Tasha, or would he have eventually went to someone else? Do you think Tariq would have still became the glad nigga that he became? Let me know all of that in the comments. But like usual, glad niggas, if you're cool with me, fool with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your glad friends. But until the next video, I'm out.